I was the president of the New Jersey companies at Plymouth Rock and spent all of my time with P&C agents talking to them about bridging into wealth strategy.
You just need to know that the product is a mechanism to solve that problem that that person has.
One of the things we talk to agents who want to, like health, probably the best example are health agents. Those agents who are selling Med Sup, Med Advantage, they've got a seasonality to their business. They're working with an older demographic. And they're like, look, I'd love to do this. I just don't know how. And our advice to them is, first of all, there's plenty of places to get the education and training. Let's start with that's not an impediment to it. There's CLTC, that's a designation where they offer free and paid courses to help learn about how to position long-term care. Just by the way, at a period of my time, I was the president of the New Jersey companies at Plymouth Rock and spent all of my time with P&C agents talking to them about bridging into wealth strategies and protection products. And what we used to say to them is really simple. Find the transactional products that are most closely aligned to the way you sell business and start there. Even if it's not the greatest and best product for the client, the ultimate product, it's better than what they have, which is nothing, right? Sell them a short-term care product. Explain to them in a simple, digestible, when we were talking about storytellers, learn a story that talks about that protection and get comfortable with it. And then say to your client, look, short-term care products, right, cover you for that 1 year or less. What I want to do at our next review is show you the next stage. It's a building block. Tell them the story, not about we sell everything, but we're experts in the field of insurance, and my job is to show you the building blocks to protect you and your family. What you choose to do with that is an entirely different story. I'm not here to sell you things. I'm here to educate you on the challenges you may face, to present modern solutions. The universe is this wide, and I want to narrow that down to good, solid choices based upon what I know and learn about. And what client would say no to that, right? Somebody who'd say no to that is likely a client who you're not going to develop a rapport with. You're going to sell them something, but you're probably not going to develop a deep client that way.
Well, and an agent that's getting more, I think, highly strategic with their outbound and onboarding of their new clients. Like if it's a PNC, we're PNC, right? So we're never gonna lead with a long-term care, obviously. And like Jason said, it's probably at the end of the line. But if we're strategic and we have a plan that it's like, okay, in the first month, then they're gonna get a follow-up about life. And this all happens, it's just executed, then eventually you are gonna start writing this stuff, right? Like that's just the way it works. I just like to unpack one other thing, something that we do in our own agencies when we're training new people, because everybody has an excuse in sales is I need to know everything before I pick up that phone. And in my opinion, it's all bullshit. It's called reluctance. You just need to know that the product is a mechanism to solve that problem that that person has. It doesn't fucking matter what's in the thing. And I'm sorry, didn't drop that.
Well, I'm from New Jersey. We're required before we leave school to have it as a noun, verb, adverb, adjective, pronoun. Yeah.
You can see the passion.
Yeah. Dude, and you're
like, it's so important.
100% right. So this call reluctance issue is as real as it could be, right? So earlier in my career, I was the president of the New Jersey company for Plymouth Rock, and we had people who were telephone P&C salespeople who'd work for agents, and they were selling auto insurance and homeowners insurance over the phone. Right. You guys, anybody who's run or worked in a call center knows the likelihood of picking up a phone and getting somebody on a phone call when you dial it, especially these days, is low single digits, right? And we would see people who'd have to do an entire 20-minute prep. They'd have to look through everything the client owned. They'd have to go through, when is their renewal up? When is this? Hold on, let me go chase Joey down to get the answer to, he left a note, I don't understand. Then they'd come back to the desk, get themselves positioned, they'd dial a phone, and they'd leave a voicemail. And then they'd go through this whole thing. We got to a point.
Then they go to the bathroom.
Yeah, right. And then, look, it's tiring, so now I got to go get a cup of coffee, right? We got to a point, the most success we had was when we made them turn the computer off and printed out pieces of paper that had a name and a phone number. That's it. Because call reluctance is a real thing. And what we teach people these days to do is to ask the same solid, good question. This isn't about matching somebody up in a call with the greatest product. And it doesn't matter if it's P&C or life or an annuity. Jason, to your point, it's the end of the line on something else. There's so many products out there. We've got to understand somebody's need. And you only get to that need by talking to people, by developing relationships. Imagine We talk a lot in our industry about the power of the referral, right? And we sort of tip our hat to the power of the referral and say, yeah, you always have to ask for referrals. The best referrals I have ever seen were referrals nobody had to ask for. Why? Because they developed the client in the right way. They maybe spoke to him a few times. They sold a product. They came back a couple months later. They said, look, now we've got this in place. I'd love to understand some more of your dynamic. Tell me about your family. And now they're building out not just the rapport, not just an understanding. They're becoming that trusted advisor, that trusted agent. And when you develop that, we know that that's when the referrals start to pour in, right? That Ken Blanchard book, Raving Fan from 25, 30 years ago, talked about this. And that's exactly what we want to create. And that's the advice. Most people don't want to do it. It's hard work. But when you can get to that, then you get to develop some of these later products, whether it's short-term care, whether you bring an expert in, maybe you bring in and partner with somebody who's got licenses you don't have because you're doing the right thing for your clients. It's when the magic happens, for sure.
Yeah. The deliberate intentionality, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy that we're not allowed to use trusted advisor anymore. Like with the SEC. It's crazy.